Hi, grade fives. Welcome to English Term 3 with me, Mr. Tolamo. We are going to be listening and speaking. Our skills are going to improve. We will be having 5 lessons in this unit, and we will be learning about a novel. Well, we'll be exploring what a novel is, what it looks like, and so forth.
Hi, grade fives. Welcome to English Term 3, Listening and Speaking with me, Ms. Tolamo. I hope you enjoy this content. I hope your listening skills, are ready to improve, or they're already improved and developing, and you're ready to learn how to listen as well as how to speak. So I hope you enjoy this week. So this week we'll be reading a novel, or we'll be listening to a novel, because we're focusing on listening and speaking. A novel by Ishmael Bey titled, now you're gonna find out. Go through the content. Hi, guys.
Sorry about that. Welcome to our first lesson. Listening and speaking. What do we know about listening? What do we know about speaking? We'll be playing a novel, A Long Way Gone. Well, an extract of a novel, A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Soldier by Ishmael Bey. I hope you enjoy.
To 5. We were so hungry that it hurt to drink water and we felt cramps in our guts. It was as though something were eating the insides of our stomachs. Our lips became parched and our joints weakened and ached. I began to feel my ribs when I touched my sides. We didn't know where else to get food. The one cassava farm that we ravaged didn't last long. Birds and animals such as rabbits were nowhere to be seen. We became irritable and sat apart from each other, as if sitting together made us hungrier. One evening, we actually chased a little boy who was eating 2 boiled ears of corn by himself. He was about 5 years old and was enjoying the corn that he held in both hands, taking turns biting each ear. We didn't say a word or even look at each other. Rather, we rushed on the boy at the same time, and before he knew what was happening, we had taken the corn from him. We shared it among the 6 of us and ate our little portions while the boy cried and ran to his parents. The boy's parents didn't confront us about the incident. I guess they knew that 6 boys would jump on their son for 2 ears of corn only if they were desperately hungry. Later in the evening, the boy's mother gave each of us an ear of corn. I felt guilty about it for a few minutes, but in our position there wasn't much time for remorse. I don't know the name of the village that we were in and didn't bother to ask, since I was busy trying to survive the everyday obstacles. We didn't know the names of other towns and villages and how to get there. So hunger drove us back to Matrujong again. It was dangerous, but hunger made us not care that much. It was summertime, the dry season, and the grassland had grown yellowish. A fresh green forest engulfed it. We were in the middle of the grassland walking in single file, our shirts on our shoulders or heads, when suddenly 3 rebels rose from behind the dry grasses and pointed their guns at Jibrila, who was in the front. They cocked their guns, and one of them placed the muzzle of his gun under Jibrila's chin. "He is scared like a soaked monkey," the rebel laughingly told his companions. As the other 2 walked past me, I avoided eye contact by putting my head down. The younger rebel raised my head with his bayonet, still in its scabbard. While he was looking at me sternly, he took the bayonet from its scabbard and attached it at the muzzle of his gun. I trembled so hard that my lips shook. He smiled without emotion. The rebels, none of whom were older than 21, started walking us back to a village we had passed. One was dressed in a sleeveless army shirt and jeans, his head tied with a red cloth. The other 2 were dressed in jean jackets and pants, wearing baseball hats backwards and new Adidas sneakers. All 3 wore a lot of fancy watches on both wrists. All these things had been taken from people by force or looted from houses and shops. The rebels said a lot of things as we walked. Whatever they said didn't sound friendly. I couldn't hear their words because all I could think about was death. I struggled to avoid fainting. As we approached the village, 2 of the rebels ran ahead. 6 of us and 1 rebel, I thought to myself, but he had a semi-automatic machine gun and a long belt of bullets wrapped around him. He made us walk in 2 lines of 3 with our hands on our heads. He was behind us aiming his gun at our heads, and at some point he said, "If any of you makes a move, I will kill everyone, so don't even breathe too hard, or it might be your last." He laughed, and his voice echoed in the distant forest. I prayed that my friends and brother wouldn't make any sudden moves, or even try to scratch an itch. The back of my head was getting warm, as if expecting a bullet any time. When we got to the village, the 2 rebels who had run ahead had gathered everyone who was there. There were over 15 people, mostly young boys, some girls, and a few adults. They made us all stand in the compound of a house that was closer to the bush. It was getting dark. The rebels took out their big flashlights and placed them on top of the rice-pounding mortars so that they could see everyone. While we stood there under gunpoint, an old man who had escaped from Matrujong was heard crossing a creaky wooden bridge leading to the village. While we watched, the youngest rebel walked toward the old man and waited for him at the foot of the bridge. He was placed at gunpoint as soon as he crossed over and brought in front of us. The man was probably in his 60s, but looked weak. His face was wrinkled from hunger and fear. The rebel pushed the old man to the ground, put a gun to his head, and ordered him to get up. On trembling knees, the old man managed to stand. The rebels laughed at him and made us laugh with them by pointing their guns at us. I laughed loudly, but I was crying internally, and my legs and hands trembled. I clenched my fists, but that made the trembling worse. All the captives stood at gunpoint, watching as the rebels proceeded to interrogate the old man. "Why did you leave Matrujong?" a rebel asked while examining his bayonet. He measured the length of his knife with his fingers and then held it against the old man's neck. "It looks like a perfect fit," he motioned, driving the bayonet through the old man's neck. "Now are you going to answer my question?" The veins on his forehead stood out as his fierce red eyes watched the trembling face of the old man, whose eyelids were shaking uncontrollably. Before the war, a young man wouldn't have dared to talk to anyone older in such a rude manner. We grew up in a culture that demanded good behavior from everyone, and especially from the young. Young people were required to respect their elders and everyone in the community. "I left town to look for my family," the old man said in a frightened voice, as he managed to catch his breath. The rebel, with the semi-automatic machine gun, who had been standing against a tree smoking a cigarette, furiously walked toward the old man and pointed his gun between the old man's legs. "You left Matrujong because you don't like us." He put his gun on the old man's forehead and continued. "You left because you are against our cause as freedom fighters, right?"
You left because you are against our cause as freedom fighters, right? Why would that be said to the old man? What do freedom fighters do? What is their cause? What do you think they were accusing the old man of doing? Remember the word rebels. We said they are rebels. The way they're talking to an older person, it is said it is not a norm to speak to adults or elders in such a disrespectful manner. But it's happening in this extract. There are so many themes we could explore. But for now, I want you to think about this young boy being a soldier. Imagine yourself as a soldier. You're probably 11, 12 years old. And yeah, now we are going to complete activity 1. Listen to chapter 5 of the novel by playing the video in the previous slide and complete task 1 below. Task 1 is not appearing. Task 1 is supposed to appear below this B here with the pencil. And next to it, it says, list. Use a dictionary to search for meanings of these words used in the novel. Looted, pounded, interrogate, fears, tremble, captives. 2 of these words being looted. Looted, I want you to think about looted. We had a looting situation last year and years before that. So what is looting? When something is looted, what do we mean by that? And The word captives hasn't been mentioned yet, so you're going to have to listen to the extract a while longer. Hence, I've posted a link below this video. So you will click on that link and play the extract to find the meaning. So you'll be looking at how the word is used. Let's play the voice notes.
Difficult words found in A Long Way Gone, Memories of a Boy Soldier by Ishmael Bey. The first word is parched. The word parched means dry or thirsty. The second word is obstacles, which means problems that one has to overcome or issues that cause complications in one's journey. The word remorse means to feel sorry or to sympathize with another person. No, grade fives, I meant the word remorse means to feel sorry or to be sorry or express forgiveness, right? Ask for forgiveness for what you have done. Means you regret it. If you show remorse, if you steal something and you show remorse, it means you regret what you did. The word engulfed means to surround or cover. If you are engulfed by something, it means that something covers you or surrounds you. The word rebels means people who oppose authority, who do not want to listen to the law, who want to do things their own way and do not want to follow rules. Those are rebels.
So, you listen to the voice note explaining difficult words found in the extract. Now, after listening to the extract, complete task 1 by
Difficult
clicking on this
words
link. I'll
found
post
in
it
A Long Way Gone.
below the video.
Difficult.
And think about the following. When you saw the name of the novel on the cover, what did you think the story was going to be about? What did you think the story was going to be about? After listening to the story for 2 minutes, what were your predictions? How did you think the story would end? What did you think would happen? Right? After listening to the extract for 2 minutes, could you have imagined that it would have ended the way it did? Or did you have a different imagination of how it would end? And number 3 says, what message is the novel trying to send? What is Ishmael Bey trying to tell us in the story? What is he trying to show? What are those kids going through? What is happening to them? How are they living? Where are their parents? You know, what is Ishmael trying to tell us about how those boys were as young as they were and in a war? They were in a war, guys. So you're going to complete this activity, and well, you'll have to refer to the extract, meaning you have to replay this video, go back to it, like I said, and yeah. Remember, when using a dictionary, you look at the first letter of the word you're searching for. Let's recap on our lesson, well, our first lesson. The theme of silence appears in chapter 5 of the novel. What is a theme? We say the theme of silence appears in chapter 5 of the novel. The boys' hunger is so severe that they become irritated and sit apart from each other. Please read this, pause this video and read the summary. Can you remember what the novel was about? Form groups of 3 to discuss the summary written on the left. A summary is a short description of an event or story. Think about why the boys were so hungry. Use the title of the novel to find the answer.
I've been hunted down for the words that I say, okay? I need a place to hide out, but where can I hide when no one's on my side? Oh damn, I can't go to the cops, cause the cops are slaves to the system, but they don't know. I can't go to my fam. They will call the cops cause a scene and put on a show. A revolutionary rapper. I'm the revolutionary rapper. You see the mess I'm in, you see me struggling. Yeah, that's because I made the metrics come crumbling. A revolutionary rapper.
Welcome to our second lesson, where we will be focusing on features of a novel. Look at that picture. How many people are there? What do we call those people when they are in a novel? We have a title, a plot, a theme, a setting, characters, and a message. Below the title, there are bubbles there. There's a green person, right? And they are holding something. How does that explain what a title is? How does that show that that is a title? Well, at the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe features of a novel, meaning describe what a title is, describe what a theme is, describe what a setting is. You will also be able to identify features found in A Long Way Gone, Memoirs of a Boy Child. Now, a novel is a narrative that has a book length, representing character and action with some realism. Meaning, if I write a novel, it can be true or it can be a lie. It can be something I made up, something I was motivated to write about, something that touched me, and I want to write it from first person as if it happened, right? But when I write it, I'm going to include things that actually happen in real life. I'm not just going to include fantasy. So that's a novel when we say it represents character and action with some realism. A novel consists of the following features: a title, a setting, plot, characters, theme, and message. The activity. Now we are explaining to you what a title is. Now you can see that a title is a name or heading of the novel. A setting, a plot, characters, theme, message. You will have to read. I'd advise that you write down in your notes. Have a book, throughout these sessions of ours so that you can have an outline of what you achieved, what you learned, what to improve on. Taking charge of your own learning. Look at the following pictures and use them to find features of a novel. Where are those kids? You see that the first picture where they are holding guns, wearing green. Where are they? What kind of job are they doing? How can we use that picture to determine the setting? The setting is where the novel happens. Do you think it's okay for a child to become a soldier? Do you think it's okay for a child to become a soldier? Why is it wrong to kill people? This other picture shows events that took place in the novel, right? Pause this and zoom full screen so that you can see those extracts clearly. Ishmael says he saw himself on the other side, meaning if he was shooting someone as a boy soldier that he understood, he saw similarities. He understood that him and the people who he was shooting were similar, just that they were victims and he was the perpetrator. He was the one shooting and they were the ones being shot at. They were the victims. So look at these pictures. Relate them to the novel that we read. Think about where these people are. Where they are, we said it's the setting. So think about that before we go to our next lesson. Third lesson, we're going to practice writing our own novel. After our 2 lessons learning about a novel, can you write your own novel? Why or why not? Good listening and bad listening. Can you distinguish between good listening and bad listening? Do you remember what happened in the novel? If you do, and you can use the information used in the extract, then you were a good listener, right? What did you do? You were paying attention. You were not distracted. If there were distractions, you can't listen very well, and that's bad listening. So copy this table, make 2 columns and write good listening, bad listening.
Hi, grade 5s. Welcome to another lesson. This is our 3rd lesson in our unit of listening and speaking. This lesson requires you to write your own novel, but you're not just going to guess what a novel is. You're not just going to guess what to include, because we've already done features of a novel. We've already covered what a novel is. We've already explored an extract from a novel to show you how to write your own. So last week in our lesson 2, we did features of a novel. We said a novel has a title, a novel has a theme, a novel has a setting, a novel has a plot, and a novel has a message, How do we define the word theme? How do we define the word features? If we say a theme is a feature of a novel, what is a feature? If we say a title is a feature of a novel, what is a feature? Do you know how to define those things? Would you be able to explain to me if I asked you to define a novel or its features or the word feature? If you do, then if you don't, you can still consult the dictionary, you can still learn, you can still find out. But I want you to write your own novel using features of a novel, including them in your novel. I want to see creativity. I want to see punctuation. Your commas, put them where they need to be. And when you present, in this lesson, we're only learning how to write, how to structure it, right? What to include, what not to include. And in our next lesson, you will be preparing your speech. You will be preparing to present and to speak. I guess because listening and speaking, I must see if you can read what you wrote. And if you can't, we're going to help you. Relax, have fun, like I always say. So look forward to the activities. I'm going to post a link along with this video to help you understand features of a novel and perhaps, another example, just so that you know what to include in case Ishmael Bey's novel was not enough, right? Please enjoy.
No? Yes. The writing process. I said you are going to learn how to write your own novel using everything you've learned in this lesson, using the features, using what a novel is, using the extract that we used, You're going to listen to how that extract was presented, how language was used, and then take those tips in writing your own. The writing process. When you think about what you're going to write, we call that pre-writing. You haven't written yet. I'm sure when you were listening to the video, you were thinking, what could I write about? What topic could I have? Drafting. Now you are writing down your ideas. Revising. You are reading over your writing. You have written. You drafted. You were thinking first and then you write your ideas. And now you are reading over what you've written. And editing. You edit. You check whether there are any language errors, grammatical errors. Have you used adjectives correctly? Have you used pronouns correctly? Have you used adverbs correctly? You look at that. Your punctuation. For the writing process, we are going to have a WhatsApp group. And we're going to have 2 sessions. In the first session, you will be learning. See, in our first session, we'll be learning and then you'll be presenting. So you'll be learning how to present. I want to show you these boxes. They have skills of listening, meaning if you can repeat an opinion that someone said, you are listening to what they were saying. If you can repeat what I said, it means you were listening to me, right? Now, to present your novel, you will have to join our WhatsApp group on the link below. Ask your parents or guardians to monitor and assist you with recording a voice note, reading your 10 sentences. Your novel is going to consist of 10 sentences because you're only 10, 11 years old. I don't want to bombard you. And then you're going to use the following time slots to attend a WhatsApp class where you will present your novel. There are 4 groups. There's group 1 from 8 to 10, group 2 from 10 to 12, and group 3 from 12 to 2. This can happen when everyone has completed their tasks. Meaning, if you didn't complete any activity or any assessment task that appears, then you're not going to present. What are you going to present that you did not learn? The only reason why you're presenting is because you were taught, and now you're being asked to show that you understood and show that you can apply it, right?